Audrey Zatsa. On high instructions of President Paul Biya, the Minister of State Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Ferdinand Gongo, was at the site of the Yaoundé Olembe Sports Complex yesterday, February 9. It was a matter of evaluating the work progress of the other components of the Olembe complex. Some 10 luxurious vehicles fraudulently imported into Cameroon were recently intercepted by customs officials in Gaoundéré in the Adamawa region. According to Tukam Jean-Marie, head of the Adamawa customs sector, smugglers of these luxurious vehicles mixed them amongst the convoy of the AFCON delegation from Garoua to Yaoundé after escaping custom duty of about 90 million francs CFA. Let's have Tukam Jean-Marie as he speaks.
10 fraudulent vehicles who was introduced inside the official convoy of the AFCON, AFCON group, which was based in Garoua. So we seized this vehicle and we brought them here in my customs sector, and we are there for the litigation, and the duties, the state duties will be calculated, they will be paid, and penalty should be fixed, should be given to the fraudulent operator. That's why I can tell you this morning.
Mofo Jude, the commander of the operation, narrates how these vehicles were seized.
For this question, I have always been saying that we have developed an intelligence service that is working 24 on 24, and this intelligence service is giving us a lot of good results. So these vehicles had to put these vehicles amongst the convoy of the vehicles for the AFCON. You all know that there was AFCON. There was one pool of AFCON in Garoua. So when these vehicles of AFCON were returning to Yaoundé, these people had to infiltrate as if they were vehicles of AFCON that you have all seen. So when we gave instructions to our guys who work in the field that when they see this vehicle, they should not touch them. Just allow them, come into Gaoundéré, come into the service. Since we knew that they were going to pass in front of our offices to go to Yaoundé. So when they came, we just had to intercept them at the level of our offices and make them enter. And we just asked the papers. Since they did not have the papers, the vehicles are still there. We can make us conclude that these vehicles were smuggled into the country.
Following the outbreak of bird flu in the west region of the country, poultry activities will not be banned, but a sanitary pass has now been imposed. It is part of resolutions arrived at yesterday, February 9, during a meeting presided over by the governor of the west region, Awa Fonka Augustine. Let's have him.
Flu is a very contagious disease that can contaminate other farms, poultry farms, very easily. It is for this reason that we are holding this morning a meeting to sensitize the population to take measures so that this illness is not propagated to other areas. The economy of the West region is based on this activity. So we are working seriously round the clock along with the other competent services to be able to handle it as fast as possible. And of course this requires, first of all, that the economic operators should accept that this situation exists, as had been the case in 2016. They should collaborate and they should work with all the competent services for us together to contain this disease so that it doesn't spread to other areas. I think that's just what we are doing, and given their spokesperson, we are hopeful that we're going to handle this issue in a very short time.
A man aged 40, identified as Yeto Pele, is currently under custody at the Fumbot Gendarmerie for beating his 10-year-old daughter to death. The incident occurred on Saturday, February 5, 2022. Eileen Sama narrates the story.
Kunjo Blessing, age 10, is a little girl who met her demise caused by her own biological father, 40-year-old Yeto Pele, an internally displaced person from Donga Mantung in the northwest region who relocated to Fumbot in the west region of Cameroon with his family residing in the Mbaye neighborhood. As the story goes, the deceased girl, Kunjo Blessing, reportedly stole 40,000 francs CFA from home and started spending lavishly in school on candies and other stuff. Her father, Yeto Pele, who has 8 children, including a set of twins, explained.
I had the money from a meeting that I took. I kept that money in the house. This my little girl. There was a day I went to go and remove some money to go and use. I saw that there's 20,000 that I was missing in the money. When I asked my wife said that she's not the one who was taking the money. I wanted to make problem with my wife. So people told me that I should allow it like that. I allowed it. I gave the remaining money to my wife to keep it herself. My wife kept the money. She wanted to go and make her birth certificate. She went there to take another money to go and make the birth certificate. When she go where the money is found, she did not find 30,000 inside the money.
Earlier on, the girl's mother said she found 10,000 francs on her, and when asked where the rest of the money was, Blessing said she gave it to her friends in school, but the said friends denied the allegations and rather insisted that the girl spent the money all by herself. Her father narrates.
My wife called me, I was in the town. My wife called me that I should come very fast. When I reached the house, my wife told me that she have seen 10,000 francs in the house of this my child. So I called this my child, where is this money? All this money has been missing. You are the one taking it now. She said that yes, she's the one taking it. So why have you kept the money? She said that she have given some to her friend in the school. I carry her on the bike to go and ask those her friends. Those her friends told me that since that she has been coming to school, they are seeing her eating money, but they don't know where the money is from. So she have never give them any money. I came back with this my child in the house. I said that you will show me where the money is found.
In the course of forcing out information from the girl, Yeto Pele reportedly beat her until she lost consciousness. She was rushed to a hospital in the locality where she was later declared dead by doctors 30 minutes upon arrival. Her father, who was responsible for the act, then called his pastor to resuscitate Blessing, but it was too late as the kid had given up the ghost.
I was just trying to intimidate her to know where the money is from. She told me that she would give me the money. She's having a pullover that she usually goes to school with it. She removed the pullover and removed 500 francs in the pullover and gave me. I said that if the 500 francs has come out, the remaining money is still with her. I tried to threaten her again. That is where she just fell down like this, as if she has collapsed. I said that maybe she's not in good health. I took her to the hospital. The doctor evaluated her. She was still alive. So at some few hours later, as I went to call for a pastor to come and pray for her, maybe there's an evil spirit in her. When the pastor came, the pastor prayed for her. After 5 minutes time, 5 to 30 minutes time, the doctor came again and said that she's no more alive.
Yeto Pele, Blessing's father, is currently at the Gendarmerie Brigade in Fumbot under detention for the death of his own daughter.
The Bank of Central African States, BEAC, is expecting the sum of 32 billion francs CFA from the state of Cameroon by the 11th of February this year. The information, which is contained in the dashboard of operations for this trade zone, comes along with modalities, as our reporter Dolin Gonde explains.
A total debt of 32 billion francs CFA on the public securities market set up by the Bank of Central African States, BEAC, is to be settled by the Cameroonian Public Treasury come February 11, 2022. The information, which is revealed by the dashboard of operations in this market for the period of February 7th to 11th, also states that To repay these debts contracted respectively were the sums of 17 and 15 billion francs CFA were obtained some 13 and 26 weeks respectively. Earlier on from this market, Cameroon has carried out a new issue of treasury bonds for 26 weeks to be able to secure an envelope of 20 billion francs CFA intended for these reimbursements. In a bid, therefore, to be able in meeting up with the remaining 12 billion francs CFA, Cameroon is expected to deduct this amount from an 83 billion francs CFA sum the National Treasury was able to mobilize last week at the end of a domestic syndication program. In any case, Cameroon should have no problem meeting this new deadline for repaying its debt on the public securities market. According to sources from the Ministry of Finance, since 2011, when this market was launched, Cameroon has never been in default of payment. And at the end of December 2021, the country had already repaid around 3,000 billion francs CFA in debt to the BIAC market at maturity time.
The creation of linguistic centers stands as one of the means to strengthen the practice of bilingualism in Cameroon. Let's take a look at the linguistic center in Ngaoundéré, Adamawa region with Catherine Ekongwe.
The government of Cameroon has taken measures to boost the practice of bilingualism in Cameroon. Among these measures are the institution of bilingual classes, creation of bilingual secondary schools and linguistic centers across the national territory. Be it the Linguistic Center of Ngaoundéré or other regional centers, their main goal is to ensure a daily promotion of bilingualism in Cameroon. The Regional Linguistic Center of Ngaoundéré, created in 2015, is sensitizing the people on the essence of bilingualism in the field under the supervision of Sojo Amoa, who is the second director since its creation.
The Ngaoundéré Regional Linguistic Center is part of the network of the Bilingual Training Program. The Bilingual Training Program, which is a structure of the Presidency of the Republic. Our main goal, our objective is to train all Cameroonians to make them bilingual through the teaching of our two official languages, which are English and French. So the Ngaoundéré Regional Linguistic Center is open to everybody, even if you've never been to school. We have literacy courses that can help you to start reading and writing either in French or in English. So we are waiting for you.
Individuals from all walks of life and class constitute learners of this center who are expected in the course of their studies to become perfectly bilingual.
For those who come to learn English here, as you have noticed in our classroom, most of them are adults. And when we started 6 weeks ago on the 3rd of January. That is week 6 that we are completing. We are starting today, and we're going to end the term in March.
The rate of bilingualism in Cameroon is rapidly increasing from efforts put in by the government through these bilingualism centers and no longer regarded as a preoccupation of the minority group in the country.
And out of the country, Libyan Prime Minister Abdul Beiba has reportedly escaped an apparent assassination attempt in the early hours of this Thursday, February 10. According to local media, while returning home early this Thursday, shots were fired towards Beiba's vehicle from another vehicle that managed to flee the scene. The minister was unharmed in the incident, and the issue has been referred to the Prosecutor General for investigation. The assassination attempt comes amid an ongoing tussle for power in Libya as Abdul Beiba, who has been heading Libya's UN-backed government since last year in March, faces a bid by parliament to replace him. That was it for today's edition of Prime Flash, produced by Junior PELAMA. Thanks for watching. Faithful viewers, you have more stories on our 3:30 p.m. Prime Info with Gladys Bomotongina and our 6:30 p.m. Prime News with Fon Quinta. Coming up next is In the House with Eileen Sama and her ladies. Have a nice time.